What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm actually doing something different. Today I'm actually going to have local musicians come into the room, and we're going to call it Jimmy's Room, I guess. I don't know, I still don't think of a title or anything like that, but we'll figure something out. But today my very first guest is Steve Albertini. Thank you so much, Steve, for coming to the show.
You're welcome.
Or YouTube channel, whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely, thank you for having me.
So I just figured, I'd give the little spotlight around our local area, and since COVID is basically not, lifted with the masks and everything, and people can get together, we've been secretively getting together, trying to get, music going, and trying to book some shows, but it's kind of hard because there's some places that are not opening up, and, we're trying to get out there again. Go back to the normalcy of like how life was before this whole outbreak. So, but yeah, I just figured I wanted to start something new, and we'll try to get to know more of new people that are on this channel with me. So,
awesome.
So today we will have Steve introduce himself, and we're gonna ask you a couple questions, and we'll just get to know you and pick your brain a little bit.
Okay.
So, first and foremost, how did it all start for you to be a musician?
Well, for me, I really think it started when I was young. I was probably about 7 or 8, and I remember going on a fishing trip with my uncle.
Okay.
And he had an older car. It was, there were no CDs. It was all cassette.
Okay, yeah.
And I remember going on this fishing trip and listening to Metallica's Black Album.
Oh, okay.
And being young, like I said, like 7 or 8 years old, that was the first time I ever heard any kind of music like that. And I think from that point on, I was like, this is great. This is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
I was hooked, and really I think that trip kind of started it all. Yeah. And I remember it was maybe a year later, I was visiting my grandfather where my uncle lived at the time, and if you're watching this, I apologize. But I went to your car and I stole that cassette out of your car.
Uh-oh.
And that's really what got the ball rolling. So,
whoops.
So I apologize.
But in a good way.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm not a thief. I don't steal, but
He gave it back eventually after a while.
I did.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, your uncle. So basically, was it just Metallica's full album? The Black Album was what did it for you?
That's really what started it. Growing up with an older sister, I really only ever heard the music that she kind of listened to, which was more like the poppier stuff, like maybe like Boys II Men or something like that, or what was that one? There was a really popular group, like really early '90s. New Kids on the Block.
New Kids on the Block. Okay,
yeah. Like things like that, like really radio friendly kind of. Music like that, and which obviously I wasn't really a fan of.
Yeah.
But yeah, so once I heard something like that, once I heard the Black Album, that really kind of was like, wow, this is different, and this is aggressive. And that's really what I like. Because
it was more like you said, aggressive, but at the same time it was like, wow, this is something that's so different compared to what the stuff being played on the radio.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It just sucked you right in. And
right.
Okay. So that basically wanted you to play guitar then, or any other instrument? Or how did that start?
Yeah, really. That's kind of where it started there. I mean, once again, going back to that album and stuff, and just listening to the riffs and stuff like that, and just really wanting to kind of be involved with that type of lifestyle, I guess. Like the heavier music lifestyle, and I really wanted to be in a band that toured all the time. And if I couldn't do that, I was always like, man, I want to be like a roadie or something like that, just to travel with the band, just to be around that environment all the time. Neither of those things ever came to fruition, but
Yeah, and it happens. I mean, it's just, especially nowadays back then it didn't seem like it was too hard to get into a band.
Right.
But then it can be, because I mean, I'll be honest with you, I think being in a band is almost like managing your girlfriend or your wife. You've got to constantly have attention on that. It's You got to make sacrifices.
You have to sacrifice a lot. I
Yeah.
think, really. You know, you don't just get a bunch of guys together, write a couple songs, and hit the road. I mean,
No.
It's just so much more involved. And,
It's like you just constantly have to play,
right.
play and play and play, even if it's for like nails and freaking washers.
Yeah.
You know.
To nobody.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sucks.
It does.
I mean,
it does.
it's always that point where either you have to have the mix of covers and you have to have the mix of your own original songs too.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
and that's the most important part of it.
Right.
You have to have a crowd to suck you in. So,
Right.
but yeah, so well, there's that question
Okay.
answered. So, well, the one question was like, what was your most influential band? And you said Metallica. Was there any other bands out there besides them? Like, is it the four Apocalypse bands or?
I mean, really, like I said, Metallica is really what got it all started.
Yeah.
As I got older, I don't want to say that I stopped liking them because I still love them to this day,
Mhm.
and it's still a band that I listen to on a regular basis. But once I was probably, I'd say 16, once like the pop punk era started kind of coming
Yeah.
like around and getting huge, I really started like going with that because I think it was because I did like the little more simplistic songs, and with me being a guitar player and not being the best guitar player in the world, the other bands I think that really made me want to kind of keep going and keep playing guitar. I would have to say first and foremost would probably Saves the Day.
Saves the Day. Okay.
Yeah, that they were also a big influence on me. I think I heard them for the first time when I was probably like 16,
Mhm.
and with them being the same age as me back then, they were all like 16, 17-year-old kids. They were all still in high school,
Yeah.
and they were putting out albums and stuff like that, and that really kind of drew me to that. And I was like, wow, like look what these kids are doing.
Yeah.
Or why can't we do that?
Uh-huh.
So that they were definitely a big influence on me.
Yeah.
And trying to start my own band,
Mhm.
and because I was like, well, if they can do it, why can't we do it?
Right. Absolutely.
So yeah, they were a big one, and definitely another big one had to be Newfound Glory.
Nice.
I think
Yes.
I don't think there's anybody out there that's in the pop punk that doesn't like them. They're one of the pioneers
Mhm.
for sure.
Oh, 100% for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat with that.
Yeah.
That was a good response. Good response.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, you got into that.
Mhm.
Was there any other ones besides those?
Really, those were the big three: Metallica and
Yes.
Saves the Day and Newfound Glory. They were like really the big three,
Okay.
which is weird because you're going from Metallica, that's
All
super
metal.
heavy,
Yeah.
and then you're going to Saves the Day, which is faster pop punk kind of.
Well, it's just easier.
You're kind of going from one extreme to the other, which is kind of weird. But
Right.
I mean,
But I think though it's also a good thing because it doesn't like you can always go back to Metallica to learn all the technical stuff of
Right.
how they musically wrote their things.
Right.
Whereas you just want to get on the scene right away. Listening to pop punk, it's like if you learn like 3 chords or whatever, you're basically
Yeah.
a great songwriter.
if you do three or four basic chords, you could pull off a 4-minute song.
Yeah.
And you write a couple of those, and you're out there playing, and your
Yeah.
friends are coming out to see you. And,
Especially when you're first starting out.
Right.
Because it's like you need to learn things right off the bat.
Right.
So yeah, with that being said, so was it like, okay, I had to go and search everybody around the high school that actually played an instrument, or how did you approach that, like starting a band for yourself?
It's hard to really remember how that happened. I don't know who asked who first. I remember my cousin getting a guitar, and I really wanted one, and my mom was like, no, you're a little too young. I guess she didn't really want to spend the money and think I was just going to play and then just give up on it right away. Yeah, I don't really remember who asked who first, as far as how that whole thing got started.
It's basically just word of mouth throughout the high school.
I think
saying,
it
"Hey,
was. I
Steve,
think it
you play
was.
guitar."
Yeah, this guy here, this guy can play guitar, and this
Mhm.
guy here plays drums, and it just kind of started like that. And then we did some member changes, and we got a lineup going and stuff, and that stuck for a little while, and then life kind of happened, and we grew up, and
Yeah.
had fights, and
Every band has fights.
every band has.
Like I
fights.
said, it's like a wife or a girlfriend.
Right. It's
It's just hard to
absolutely.
maintain
Yeah.
sometimes. So, did you? I forgot to ask you this. Did were your parents very supportive of what
They
you
were
were doing?
Yeah, they were.
So they wouldn't mind like the late hours of the evening of you practicing guitar and
not
stuff
at all.
like that.
Not at all. My mom bought my first guitar for me.
Okay.
She paid for all my lessons when I first started doing that. I was taking
Okay.
formal lessons and stuff. She would drive me to my lessons. She would pay for the lessons and everything. And basically any accessories kind of she would help me out with.
Yeah.
If I had my own money, I would of course buy my own stuff.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, she was very supportive and she loved it. And,
That's awesome.
She's still supportive to this day.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
awesome. Sweet deal. Good. That's great. So there's that question answered.
Yep.
The other thing is, do you? So you've had other bands that you started in high school, like you said. Now, did you have separate bands that you did other instrument-wise, or was it just strictly guitar? Or also were you like the songwriter and like lyric writer of some of these bands?
The first band I was ever in high school, I was. I kind of wrote some of the music. Me and the bass player in that band, we kind of did like a shared responsibility as far as writing the music.
What was the name of the band?
It was Sadie Hawkins.
It was Sadie Hawkins.
Yes.
Okay, so that was the first band.
That's going way back.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
probably 20 years.
Yeah.
That's going, maybe not 20 years, maybe like 18 or 17 or 18.
I remember Sadie Hawkins because
Long
we had
enough.
Golden Nobodies. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah, long enough. But we kind of shared the music writing. The bass player did a lot of the lyric writing. He did a majority. He probably did 95% of the lyrics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Sadie Hawkins was born with that.
Yep.
Was there there other bands, right, that you had?
Once I was out of once that band kind of fizzled out, we started another band, and I was guitar and vocals for that band as well. And once again, I didn't really write many of the lyrics. I'm not much of a lyricist, really.
Same.
You know?
Yep.
We wrote a lot of the music. I wrote a lot of the music and stuff for that one, but not so much the lyrics. And then once that band fizzled out, I was out of the music scene for. I was probably out of the scene for like 5 years.
5 years out of the scene.
Because
Okay.
I think that band broke up in probably like 2005.
Okay.
And then it wasn't until like 2009, I think, I was back in another band. But this time I was playing bass,
Okay.
which I really enjoyed that as well. Yeah.
Okay. Well, perfect. That leads me to my next question. Do you have more fun playing bass or guitar?
I think I like playing bass a
Yeah.
little bit better. For some reason, it was like you didn't have to think as much.
Well, isn't that the whole thing about bass players, though? I'm just the background. No, it's actually, to be honest with you, bass players are the backbone of the song.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But it's more of the rhythmic part of the song itself, and
I always kind of thought I was more of a rhythm player than a lead player.
right.
You know.
Okay.
So I mean, bass just kind of came natural. You know, I think if you're a decent rhythm guitarist, you can play bass.
Yeah.
It's not. There's not much in between.
Pick or your fingers for bass?
I was pick.
Always
Yeah,
pick.
I was pick. So.
You never went back and forth,
No.
dabble a little bit there. Okay.
I mean, what we were doing, what we were doing was heavier with that band. So I think the pick kind of worked. It just seemed like you can just hit it
Just
harder.
dig in.
You could really dig in.
Yeah.
When you were playing. So. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, next question: would you be considered that you're a guitar nerd now, like nerd, like you like gear a lot now?
I like gear, but I wouldn't really say I'm a nerd.
Okay.
I don't know a whole lot of technical specs, but I do have multiple guitars, I have multiple amps, but
Right.
if you asked me a question about any of them, I probably wouldn't be able to answer it.
That's so funny because there's a lot of people that I know that are like that. They love stuff, but they don't know how things work.
No, I don't know the internals of anything, and that's, I'm sure I could always learn,
Yeah.
but
Like you see an amp and you really like the sound of that, like, oh, I want that amp, right?
Right.
That's what it is.
yeah, basically.
So you're kind of on the cusp of being a nerd. Like,
Yeah, a little bit.
but like pedals and stuff, like, you kind of like, do you gravitate towards pedals?
I was never
or-
really a big pedal guy.
No?
No, I don't know why.
Just guitar, amp.
I just want to plug in and just
jam.
let the amp do the work. You know?
Got it.
I don't like anything really that's extra.
Mhm.
Kind of just plug and play. You know.
Plug and play, less noise,
Yeah.
just less complications.
Basically, less to set up, less to tear down.
I get that 100% completely.
You know, you don't have to worry about things coming apart. You know.
Yep. So, is there any other guitarists out there like you look up to, like Slash or John Petrucci of Dream Theater or anything like that? Like any artists, like single solo artists instead of bands?
Not really. And I don't really know why. Like, I don't really want to really copy, I guess, anybody's kind of style or anything like that. I mean, I guess there's guys out there that I do like, but I don't really want to like model my playing after them. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Like you searching for your own sound.
Right,
Yeah.
right, kind of. I mean, you know, I don't really obsess over like anybody.
No.
Not really.
So you're really not much of a tone chaser? Like, you know how there's some guitarists that
Right.
like are
No.
strictly like, oh, I gotta have that amp because I gotta sound like that.
No,
No?
not at all. Not at all.
As long as it sounds good.
As long as it sounds good to my ears,
Yeah.
you know, I don't need something because so and so has it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not something I ever really did.
Oh, okay. That's the first that I've ever heard of that before
Yeah,
from another
yeah.
guitarist.
Yeah.
Or mainly musician-wise.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, I always wanted a Mesa Boogie, either it be a rectifier or
Okay.
some sort of like, you know, label like that. But you know, I ended up having the single rec, which I feel like is like my all-time favorite amp of all time.
Right.
I really do feel like that amp alone is like a secret weapon amongst the metal community, and I think people overlook that because to get a little nerdy on you, like I feel like nowadays, back then they had the big amps, like say Eddie Van Halen, you have the huge wall of amps,
Right. Sure.
you know, and you know the louder the amp is, the better it sounds, which obviously is the truth with tube amps. But with tube amps, like nowadays, it's like kind of like overkill with a 100-watt amp. So
It
like
is.
the lower wattage that you have, the better you're saturating the tubes to cook,
Right.
and you're getting that better electrical sound that you so far desire.
Right.
And that's why a lot of like people are going after the digital thing with Axe Effects and
Right.
what is it, the Kempers.
Yeah.
Now Line 6 has the Helix full pedal switch and everything like that. Before, I really do believe that Line 6 did it first when they had the Line 6 pod, the .20, which I still have. I own one of those.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, like it's basically used for recording, but you can also use it in a live setting.
Okay.
The cover band I was in, main guitarist always had that. He didn't have an actual amp,
Oh.
so he just used the PA, plugged in the PA, and went out to win.
Okay.
So, but like, so what made you want to be like, hey, I think I should probably go get an amp like that would be good for, you know, the whole live situation. Like, did you never like really cared for any type of specific amp? Like I said, I love Mesa Boogie.
I mean, I always kind of gravitated towards Marshalls,
Yeah.
and I don't really know why. I think it's just that iconic. It's just that iconic amp, you know what I mean? And I've always kind of been a Les Paul fan,
Okay.
and you know, that's like peanut butter and jelly. You know?
Yeah. No, you're
You know,
right.
they just kind of go together. So I think I've always kind of gravitated towards Marshalls
Yep.
and stuff like that.
It's like a lot of Les Pauls and Marshall amps just going together, like especially the JCM 800.
Yeah.
That's like the all above all type of amp that all rock bands use back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
That was the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
I guess it still is. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's that nerdy aspect of it, but again, you're just a plug and play type of guy, which is
Basically.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And by the way, the reason why I'm interviewing Steve is the fact that everyone that does know locally about my band, seeing some pictures. It first started off as 4 of us, and we recently picked up another vocalist along with my wife when my wife was pregnant, and now we finally bugged the shit out of Steve to join the band. So this is the reason why he's here, because you said to me before that it's been 10 years that you have been in the band, and that
Yeah.
was when you played bass with that previous band. What was the name of that band?
Until Life's End.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you played bass for them,
Yeah.
and how long was that for?
That only went probably about a year and a half.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. It was
short-lived.
a little short-lived.
That sucks.
I had to depart, personal reasons, you know.
Mhm.
So Plus, it was tough with my work schedule and everything.
Yeah.
Trying to find the time. They wanted to do a lot of shows.
Yeah.
And they were taking it pretty serious, which I thought was great, but it was just tough to keep up with work schedules.
Yeah, because at that point in time, you basically had to quit.
But they moved on, and they kept going and everything like that, and that band has evolved, a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And that part of the bass playing, do you miss, or is it just like you'd rather be a guitarist now?
I mean, I liked it. I don't know if I really miss it. Like, I'm not looking to be a bass player. But if the opportunity ever presented itself, I would do it.
Okay. Cool. Well, the opportunity is here.
That was like with the other bands, where I was playing bass. I was always kind of guitar before that. And then I was approached asking if I would want to play bass in this band.
Yeah.
Because they needed a bass player, they couldn't find one. And I was like, yeah, I can do that.
You had to go out and get gear then for that, like a bass amp and bass.
Yeah.
And what was the bass that you liked using?
Well, the first bass I had was just a Squire P bass.
Gotta start somewhere.
But I ended up upgrading. I had an Epiphone Thunderbird.
Oh, no
bass,
shit.
Which I really liked that one. Yeah,
Nice.
And I sold it. Unfortunately, I kind of wish I would have kept it.
Yeah. Why did you sell that? Do you still have the bass amp that you used?
No, I sold all my bass gear.
All of that.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking of other gear, what was a couple of guitars you have like that you favor?
Right now, I have a ESP Standard Series
Mhm.
Eclipse. I've been playing that one a lot, and I have another EC1000. I've been playing that one quite a bit as well. I have an Epiphone Les Paul Custom.
I worked on that guitar.
Yes, yeah. I think you've worked on all my guitars.
Not the new one that you got though, but.
No, well, not yet.
Not yet.
You'll work on it eventually, I'm sure.
So you like the custom? Do you play the custom a lot, or?
That was my main guitar for many years, but then once I started getting into the ESP and the LTD series guitars, I found they're just a cut above.
They're just easier to play.
Easier to play.
Not like a baseball bat neck.
No, very thin neck, which I prefer.
Yeah.
So unfortunately the custom doesn't get played as much as it probably should. But
all right, Steve. So the other thing is, what made you want to join our band then? Like after we bugged you many times.
I guess I just missed playing.
Yeah.
I just missed playing with other musicians.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I always enjoyed just playing at home,
Yeah.
But there's nothing like playing with another group of like-minded people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's the other, like I said, it's like a wife or a girlfriend, but it's like, it's so tough to get along with other members.
It is.
And with the longevity of it.
Right.
Because
it's a family. It really is a family. You got to treat it like that.
It is. And I feel like with you coming into the band, I just felt like when you came over just to hang out with us during a practice time, and you jammed with us a couple times, like I really like Steve, and everyone else said the same thing, because when we were young though, I never got a chance to actually jam with you as much as
we were always busy with our other things going on. It was just the timing was never.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I can honestly say though now, I really feel like the connection that we have, I feel like we're almost identical with our guitar playing style.
Yeah.
It's like,
you're better.
No. No. I'm still learning and I still suck. You can play better stuff than I do. Don't get me wrong there. But no, with the rhythm attack and just like the sense of like the non-communicating, like if we could just look at each other like, oh yeah, this is how the technique should be done here and there. Especially like with this band though, we take like current music and we try to make it our own. Because a lot of it is so oversaturated with pop stuff that we want to make it a little bit more rock style.
A little heavier.
The influences behind the band itself is mainly Foo Fighters, Paramore. Because my wife loves Paramore. Other rock bands in that genre type.
Right.
Just to give it like a little bit of context, like we would take. Right now we're working on that Blinding Light song from The Weeknd. Like we actually sat down and tried to do different techniques to make it a little bit more metalish. It's just more fun that way to do it, and I think that's what tries to draw people in to like, hey, they played the song, but it's like their own, and I think that's what gravitates people. Even though it's still a cover, because I know back then, when we were growing up as kids in our punk bands, we couldn't like do any covers because we had to make sure we had originals, and we got made fun of if we didn't have originals.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Because again, I was in that cover band for so long, and I remember stickers being printed out saying cover bands suck, and actually I still have it on my case here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
Cover bands suck.
I remember that.
And I actually have your other band name right there back there. It's called No Such Band.
Oh.
It's back there. That was with James Boyd and all them. But yeah, it's just really cool the fact that I with other missions I've played with though, I feel like with the connection that we have, it's more dynamic, even though it's simplistic, and I think that's very important with a band to get along, and again with the same mindset.
Yeah.
It's just that's where it should be.
Sure. I agree.
Do you have any riffs ideas that what were the bands that you like listening to, like you said, Metallica and Newfound Glory?
Yeah.
Can you pick up a guitar and play them for us right now, or not to put you on the spot?
Yeah, right. Thanks.
We're moving right along.
Right. I have to edit this out then.
No, we're not going to edit anything out. Everything's going to be on the whole time.
That was an old Saves the Day song.
Oh, save the day. All right.
Kind of screwed it up a little bit.
That's okay.
You get the idea.
There's that editing. Metallica?
You're a better fighter.
No, I'm not. Stop it. We're equal. Nice. Well, for today, I think that will be it. Again, I'd like to thank Steve for coming over and doing the YouTube channel thing. That I figured I'd just do something different. And again, he's in our band now, and I'm so happy that you are. And I really appreciate you coming down and doing this quick interview.
Thank you.
As much as quick it can be.
Yeah.
In the heat of the room that I have.
It's hot, man.
But yeah, hopefully like and subscribe if you like what we're doing. Comment down below if you do like what we're doing here with something new.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll have somebody else from the band come on in, maybe somebody else from other bands come on. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks again, everyone. Have a good day. See you next time.